Touch of Jasmine, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a reading for Scorpio moons. How are you doing, Scorpio moons? It's very nice to see you. These are a little all over the place. There we go. Hi, I hope you're doing well. It's very nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. As I'm shuffling out your cards, oh my god, I invite you to take some deep breaths. Looks like we've got a bonus card. Love that. But calm yourself, ground yourself, center yourself. Get relaxed, get comfy. Let's see what's going on with you guys. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, this is messy. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay. This came out nice and fast. I love that. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. So for the Oracle card, we have Divination with, that's Scorpio, right? Why am I blanking? I think that's Scorpio, right? Fire, the fire element. Yeah, I'm like, is that Virgo or Scorpio? Yeah, it's Scorpio, because Virgo has the little loop. Okay. Tarot cards, we've got Strength reversed, the High Priestess reversed, Two of Pentacles reversed, Five of Wands, the Lady and the Lord, aka the Lovers, Page of Chalices, aka Page of Cups. And then we'll flip this card over when I feel like it's time to flip it over. Okay, I think we have a pretty straightforward reading here. It looks like you have been struggling a lot with trying to balance everything that's been going on in your life. Like you've been having a lot of indecision, trying to figure out which direction to go in, how you should go about it, when you should start, you know, all of that kind of just like swirling around in your head. And I think the root of that problem I can say I can see very clearly and immediately is that I think you've been heavily influenced. A lot of the decisions you've been making and choices you've been making have been from outside or external things, and you've been having a very hard time tapping into your own inner wisdom. And that has really brought you out of alignment with what is actually best for you and what feels good and right. That's what this Oracle card is about, which if you're new to my readings, the Oracle card represents the main message. If you're not going to take anything else away from this reading, at least listen to this card. And that's what it is talking about. It's saying, hey, you have a lot more control over this and power in this situation than you realize. Or just that you're not using your own inner wisdom and your own intuition to the fullest extent that you can. And that message is really echoed by having High Priestess reversed right at the center of our reading. The High Priestess is all about using her intuition, because I think we all have the desire and need to go to other people for help, for advice, to do, especially when we're really struggling with something. We want validation from others that we're doing the right thing. We want to do what others have done before, to feel more confident and secure in what path we're going to take, because we want to take the right one that we feel like will lead us to where we want to go. But sometimes there are things in life that ultimately you actually have the most information and knowledge and wisdom to make that decision, right? I mean, especially when we're talking about things that are personal or big decisions that affect you for a very long time, right? Like who you want to love, or what career you want to pursue, or I don't know, whether or not you want to have kids or get married or that kind of stuff, You can ask other people what they think, but at the end of the day, you know yourself better than anybody else. Nobody knows you as well as you know yourself. That's why it's so important to be able to trust ourselves and listen to ourselves. And I think right now, given we have the Strength reversed, I think you're kind of in a time where you're having a really hard time listening to yourself, trusting yourself. And I think this reading is kind of trying to open your eyes and be like, we have a lot of imbalance going on. We have a lot of disharmony going on. And in order to get that clarity, to recenter and kind of bring us, back down to earth, not just up in the clouds, wondering and asking and figuring out and blah, 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 but just kind of like coming back down to earth, we need to just ultimately trust what feels good. I always say that, what feels good and right. Because with this Five of Wands, this is like an energy of like, there's too many cooks in the kitchen, right? There's too many outside perspectives and different people wanting to do different things and different people telling you to do different things. Too many perspectives, too many things to sort out. It's kind of like, all right, I've done a lot of research. I've been asking around. I've been, trying to find my answer externally. I think it's time to recenter and recenter myself in all of this and decide, what do I think is best? What aligns best with me? All right, let's go ahead and look at our bonus card. Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles gives me a little more insight as to where this fear might be coming from, or like distrust of yourself and your intuition is coming from. With the Four of Pentacles, I like to compare it to somebody who like grew up without a lot of money or access to resources or things that they need, but then they grow up, they are very successful, and they find all of this abundance in their life. Maybe a lot of money coming in, but they're like so scared to spend any of it, right? They're still living way below their means. They're not investing it. They're just like saving every last little penny. And there's kind of this paranoid feeling to it of like, I feel like I could lose all of this at any given second, or somebody's going to come in and steal this at any given second. So it's kind of like still being trapped in that scarcity mindset. I think maybe that's kind of what's going on here. Like I said, the root of that fear for you right now is like, I've already worked so hard to get to where I'm at. I don't want to mess this up. I want to make sure that I don't undo all of my progress, or somebody else, undoes all of my progress. And I'm not going to tell you that it's like not unfounded or unrealistic, mistakes happen, right? Who knows? But again, seeing this card coming up tells me that you might be a little paranoid and the threat isn't as big as you think it is. Yeah. So just to kind of wrap things up, if you really want an external outside perspective, a little advice, what the cards are telling you to do, like I said, go towards what feels harmonious and in alignment, what will fit in your life in the most seamless way. I believe that's what the Lovers are telling you. Not something that's going to create a lot of dissonance and resistance. I know this is kind of vague, but I don't think I could get any more specific than that. And same with Page of Cups. What makes you light up? What makes your chest and your heart feel full and excited? That's what you should be going towards. And also, again, kind of with this too, what can you balance nicely into your life? I would suggest you ask yourself those questions. Okay? Scorpio moons, I think I'm going to leave it there. But if you have any questions about this, or if you'd like any part of this clarified, please let me know. You can leave a comment, or you can just reach out to me, whichever you prefer. On the shorts part of my channel, I have hundreds of shorts videos where I talk about each of the cards. I talk about their upright meaning, their reversed meaning, as well as any symbolism within the cards. So if you're feeling particularly drawn to any of these cards, or if you'd like a little more information about any of them, I highly recommend you check that out. But Scorpio moons, I am sending you so much strength. As a professional tarot reader, I think a lot about what is intuition. What does it mean to listen to your intuition? And sorry, this is me talking, not the cards, but I just kind of want to throw this out there. In my opinion, I think listening to your intuition and just trusting yourself in general, I see that as a skill. I see that as something that you have to really practice and get good at over a long time. Because it sounds very simple. People ask like, well, what's your gut saying? What is your intuition telling you to do? And a lot of times you're like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts in my head. Which one is my intuition? Which one is just fear and anxiety? I don't know. So that's why I see it more as like something to practice, because the more you listen to your intuition, the easier it gets. The easier it is to identify, and that takes a lot of strength. Trusting anything takes a lot of strength. But I believe that this is going to make you stronger, right? And hopefully help you with the decisions you need to make in your life. Because it sounds like, nothing's necessarily telling me you have any decisions to make, but that's kind of the implication, right? So anyway, let me not ramble. I'm wishing you lots of luck with whichever path you choose. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!